So Nina texted me about a week ago and said, "You've got 10 minutes to talk about lightning strikes." And I went, amazing. Okay, what can I say about lightning strikes? Then I reread the text today and it actually said the theme is flashing lights. And I went, that's okay because lightning strikes are actually just natural flashing lights, right? Right. Someone say right, because I'm talking about lightning strikes. So then I've been thinking about my encounters with lightning strikes and going, what can I tell these people tonight? And I thought, well, perhaps I talk about this night last year where I was sat watching Dracula with my dad while this pretty hectic lightning storm was happening outside. We'd gotten to the point of the film where Dracula discovers that his wife has been murdered. And so as a result, he decides to go and kill the priest because obviously the priest hasn't prayed hard enough to protect his wife. So we're at this point in the film where Dracula has broken a crucifix and is on his way to stab the priest in the chest. And then I hear the loudest, most soul-piercing, visceral noise of my entire life. The house had been struck by lightning. So in that moment, I go, oh my God, my atheist self starts to panic because I go, Jesus Christ himself has literally just sent this lightning strike because he's condemning the fact that I'm watching a movie where a human is stabbing a priest with a cross which he himself is literally hung on. So I'm there, I'm spiraling, I'm going, oh my God, I'm going to hell, essentially, this atheist-ridden hell. My dad, on the other hand, has a more appropriate reaction to the situation. He gets onto the roof, because when lightning strikes something, oftentimes a fire is started. So he gets on the roof, he's looking for a fire, and I'm contemplating hell, essentially. I haven't ever tried to restart this film because I simply can't risk Jesus Christ coming and trying to put another hex on me. But then I go, no, I'm actually being unreasonable here, because don't they say that lightning will never strike the same place twice? No. And they say that not just about lightning strikes, but they say that about strikes of ideas. Now, I'm sure a lot of you have read a bit of Rick Rubin, a bit of Elizabeth Gilbert, Julia Cameron, and they talk about ideas. And they talk about ideas in the form of bolts of lightning. Now, I read this thing the other day that they said that an idea will come and strike you, and if you're receptive to it, the idea will stay. If not, it will move on to someone else who it thinks will be more receptive. And so I have a little quote from this book by Elizabeth Gilbert that I love, which talks about this idea of striking ideas. She says, when an idea thinks it has found somebody who might be able to bring it into the world, the idea will pay you a visit. It will try and get your attention. Mostly, you will not notice. This is likely because you're so consumed by your own dramas, anxieties, distractions, insecurities, and duties that you aren't receptive to inspiration. You might miss the signal because you're watching TV or shopping or brooding over how angry you are at someone or pondering your failures or mistakes, or generally you're just really, 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 really busy. But sometimes, rarely, but magnificently, there comes a day when you're open and relaxed enough to actually receive something. Your defenses might slacken and your anxieties might ease, and then magic can slip through. The idea, sensing your openness, will start to do its work on you. It will send the universal physical and emotional signs of inspiration, chills up the arms, hair standing on the back of your neck, a nervous stomach, buzzy thoughts. The idea will organize coincidences to tumble across your path, to keep your interest keen. The idea will wake you up in the middle of the night and distract you from your everyday routine. The idea will not leave you alone until it has your fullest attention, and then, in a quiet moment, it will ask, do you want to work with me? And so then I started thinking about grease lightning, and I thought about how an idea would really struggle to get through the layer of oil that covered Danny Zucker's head. And then I was thinking about the fact that grease is to kids of the 70s what euphoria is to the kids of today. You have 33-year-olds playing 17-year-olds, and it's just full of brooding men who get in the way of really anything good. But then, I had to fact check myself because I thought, well, the idea that lightning won't strike something more than once is actually total folklore, and in fact, lightning is likely to strike something twice, if not multiple times. There was a man in America called Roy Sullivan who was struck by lightning not once, not twice, but 7 times. And every time Roy got struck by lightning, something different on his body got burnt off. The first time it was his eyebrows, the second time it was his big left toe, the third and fourth time it was his hair, the fifth time it was his ankle, the sixth time it was his left shoulder, and the 7th time it was his chest. One time Roy had been hanging out the washing with his wife, and she actually got struck by lightning by standing next to him. So Roy spoke about the loneliness that he experienced in his later life because people didn't want to be near him out of genuine fear that they would be struck by lightning. But Roy's quoted saying that he didn't feel as though God was against him or that God wanted him dead, because had he wanted that, the first strike would have been sufficient enough. He just said that, yeah, I think I have some chemical mixture that lightning is really attracted to, but I guess we'll never know why. So Roy was called the human lightning conductor by the Guinness World Book of Records, which is true because lightning ultimately just wants a conduit. It wants something that can help it to ground. And I was thinking about this, and I was thinking, like, God, I'm kind of like lightning in that way, because I know that a lot of the time I'm up here, I'm up in the air, and if I'm not careful, I can stay up there. So for the last year, I have been working on this motto, I guess trying to live this motto, which is to be where my feet are, to be where my feet are. And I feel like lightning is just eternally also trying to put its feet on the ground. And then I was thinking about lightning and life and the fact that lightning is these big, bright flashes. That's the prompt. It's these big moments, and then I thought about like big moments, and then I thought about sliding doors moments, and how everyone has like 1 or 2 or 3 sliding doors moments. And then I was like, okay, what's one of my sliding doors moments? And then I thought back to 3 years ago when I had just moved to Paris, and I'd moved on a whim, and I was having a good time, and then I ran out of money. And so I was like, okay, I really need a job. And my uncle was like, I have a friend who runs a sports bar. You love sports. You should go work there. And I was like, yeah, but I also had no money and I was strapped for cash. I was like, cool, I'm going to go and get this job. So I'm on my way to my interview at the sports bar, and I stop at this little cafe because I need a coffee. And I get talking to the barista, and she goes, you know she's French, so she actually goes, you know that the owner here is married to an Australian, so if you are Australian, he will give you a job, even if your French is shit, huh? And I go, okay, and she points me in the direction of the manager, and I go over to the manager, and the manager goes, your French is shit, huh? But you are Australian, so you can have a trial shift tomorrow. And so I have a trial shift the next day, and then they give me a job there. And then that restaurant becomes my Parisian home for the next 3 years, and those workers become my Parisian family for the next 3 years. But then I've also been thinking that it's actually thunder that's loud and disruptive, not necessarily lightning, and maybe there's lots of little moments of lightning every day, throughout our every day, like little electrical jolts. So then I thought, well, what's my little electrical jolt? Or what's my friend? So I text some of my friends and I said, what's your little electrical jolt that kind of just jolts you every day? One friend responded, it's peeing after I've been busting for a really long time, and it's that relief when you need to pee. Nina said to me, it's making a checklist with check boxes instead of bullet points. My friend Darcy said that every night before she goes to bed, she does a crossword, and she fights for her life to finish the crossword and to keep her eyes open so that she finishes one every night. And then I thought, well, maybe mine is a term coined by my boyfriend, larting, because the other week I farted and laughed at the same time. It was so outrageous because we just started dating, but you know what. And so ultimately, this is my really long-winded way of saying that I don't think it's the loud moments in life that are important. In fact, I think it's the opposite. It's those little moments that crack through the static of every day that you look at and you go, yeah, this is what it means to be alive. Thank you.